It's Miss Finnegan here, and today I'm going to be reading James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl, and we are on chapter 30. We're going to read chapters 30, 31, 32 today. So, as you remember, we had the Cloudmen pouring paint on the centipede. So the centipede is now covered in paint that's all hardened, and he's very frustrated by it. But the actual mystery is they heard voices from above. So let's see what those voices are. They all shushed on the peach. Shh, there it is again. The voices were far away. It's the Cloudman again, said Miss Spider, and it came from above. Then they heard it. Very loud voices and very clear. On with the faucets! On with the faucets! It shouted. 3 seconds later, the hole underneath the cloud, hanging above their heads that was dark and stormy, burst open like a paper bag, and then out came the water. They saw it coming. It was quite easy to see because it wasn't just raindrops. It wasn't raindrops at all. It was a great solid mass of water that might have been a lake or a whole ocean dropping out of the sky on top of them. It came down and down and down, crashing first on the seagulls, then the peach, and then on the poor frantic travelers. They grabbed hold for anything, peach stem, the silk strings, anything they could find. And all the time the water came pouring and roaring down upon them, bouncing and smashing, sloshing and slashing, swashing and swirling and surging and whirling and gurgling and gushing and rushing and rushing. And it was like being pinned down underneath the biggest waterfall in the world and not being able to get out. They couldn't speak, they couldn't see, they couldn't breathe, and James Henry Trotter was holding on madly to the silk. Once again, the giant peach started peacefully sailing. The wonderful seagulls had flown right through it and came out to safety, thankfully. I'm drowned, cried the green grasshopper. It's gone right through my skin, said the earthworm. Look at me, shouted Centipede. It washed me clean. I can move again. That's the worst news I've heard in a while, said Earthworm. The centipede was dancing around the deck, turning somersaults, happy again, and started to sing at the top of his voice. Oh, hooray for the storm and the rain! I can move, I don't feel any pain. I'm now a pest. I'm the biggest pest, the most marvelous pest once again. Okay. Can you please be quiet, the old green grasshopper said. Look at me, said the centipede. Look at me. I'm freed, not a scratch, not a bruise, nor a bleed. To his grave this fine gent they all thought they had sent. I was very near went, oh, I very near went, but the scent quite the wrong centipede. Chapter 31. How fast are we going? All of a sudden Ladybug said. I wonder. I don't think the seagulls like this place any more than we do, James said. I imagine they want to get out of here as soon as possible. Faster and faster the seagulls flew, skimming across the sky to a tremendous pace, with the peach trailing behind them. Cloud after cloud they went by, all of them ghostly white in the moonlight, and several more times during the night the travelers caught glimpses of Cloudmen moving around in the clouds, working their sinister magic upon the world. Once they passed a snow machine in operation with the Cloudmen turning a handle, and a blizzard of snowflakes came blowing out of the funnel. They saw a huge drum that they were using to make thunder, and the Cloudmen started beating on it furiously. Then they saw a whole cloud city. There were caves and clouds that the men were running into. There were Cloudmen's wives crouching over little stoves, making supper and working too. And hundreds of Cloudmen children were walking about, shrieking in laughter, sliding down billows of clouds, having fun. An hour later, just before the dawn, the travelers heard a soft swooshing noise. They turned their head and glanced up, and they saw a great bat-like creature swooping down towards them in the dark. It circled around the peach, flapping its great black wings slowly in the moonlight, and it was staring at the travelers. Then it uttered a series of long, deep, melancholy cries and flew off again into the night. Oh, I do wish the morning was coming, said Miss Spider. It won't be long now, said James. It looks like it's getting lighter already. And they sat there in silence, watching as the sun came up slowly over the rim of the horizon. Here's the great black bat-like cloud. Chapter 32. And when full daylight came at last, they all got to their feet and started stretching out their poor cramped bodies. And then Centipede shouted, Look! There's land below! He's right, they cried, running to the edge. Hooray, hooray! It looks like streets and houses, but enormous ones. A vast city glistening early in the morning sunshine lay spread out thousands of feet below them. All of the houses and cars looked like beetles crawling along the streets, and people walking on the pavement looked like tiny little grains of soot. But what tremendous tall buildings these are. I've never seen anything like them in England. Which town do you think we are in? Said Ladybug. It couldn't possibly be England, said the old green grasshopper. Then where are we? Asked Miss Spider. You know what those buildings are? Shouted James, jumping up in excitement. Those are skyscrapers. So this must be America. And that means, my friends, that we traveled over the Atlantic Ocean overnight. You don't mean it, they cried. It's not possible. It's incredible. It's unbelievable. I've always dreamed of going to America, cried Centipede. I had a friend once who... Oh, be quiet, said Earthworm. Who cares about your friend? The thing we've got to think about is how on earth are we going to get down to Earth? Ask James, said Ladybug. I don't think that should be too difficult, James said. I think all we do is cut loose of the seagulls, a few at a time. Not too many, because we can't quite get down too quickly. Then down we shall go, slowly and gently, until we reach the ground. Centipede, will you please bite through the string for us, just one at a time? And next time we will read chapters 33 and 34.